There we go. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. So it feels like a minute since we've been together, but here's everybody. Everybody, Mr. Betcher, Miss Berlin. It's Beta
Hello.
Wolf.
Hello.
Hello,
Yay!
everyone.
I miss
Uh,
you.
We're at full
yeah,
strength.
we are at full strength this week. Yeah. A lot has happened in the past few months for everybody. Miss Berlin's been taking care of some family things. And by the way, I may have mentioned once or twice on here that her upcoming nuptials were happening, which is not the truth. Um,
I mean, it'll
all
happen
right.
eventually. It'll happen eventually. We've already
Look,
talked about it. We know it's
look,
happening.
what are we to think when you're like, oh, look at the pretty environment? And I'm like, nobody's looking at the fucking trees, man. Nobody's looking at the fucking trees. It's right here. It's right here. That's what they're looking at. Oh my God.
That
Yeah.
joke just didn't
Oh my God,
materialize.
we had people blowing up our phones. So we were walking around a flea market. It was $1 ring,
Yeah.
dollar. He had to call his dad on the way back home just in case somebody called him first.
Oh no.
And just, hey, just so you know.
Oh no. April Fools. Oh wait,
I
it's
had
like mid-October, so
I
yeah.
know. I felt kind of bad. It
Womp
may have been
womp.
the second time we've done that also. So,
See, if it had been like a plastic spider ring or something you'd gotten out of one of them little 25-cent things, it might have been better,
Trick or
but it
treating.
was shiny. It looked like it had a, big fat diamond on it.
right, which now I know that no one really cares about real diamonds. I'm definitely getting $1 ring
Oh.
from a flea market when we do get married.
No, one of the things that I've seen now is like some of the De Beers commercials aren't like, diamonds are forever or something, but you'll see other commercials and it's like, hey, the stuff built in a fusion, diamond fusion system is just
Yeah.
as good. And it's like,
Cubic
okay.
zirconium.
Oh yeah,
No,
Just
no,
as
no, no, no,
like
no.
probably.
not even just like
I would
glass.
well, oh, well, but I was watching I was reading no, watching or reading. I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about lab grown diamonds and they take this pressurized fusion reactor kind of thing and they kind of collide all the carbon together and they make diamonds in the lab and they're so good they fool the people who are
Right.
supposed to rate like
Wow.
diamonds. They're like, wow, this diamond is flawless, it must cost $20 million, and they're like, yeah, we just built it right over there with a bunch of carbon from our pencils and shit. No, it's not really, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that cartel, that shiny shit. It is shiny shit that really we've valued for tens of thousands of years.
Right.
Diamonds, gold, silver,
Mhm.
interesting stuff. Yeah, yeah. So,
Don't get me
um,
started on silver.
did it work out for you? I remember you talking about that like 3-4 months ago, where it was like buy silver or something.
Yeah. Um, well, not yet, but um, yeah, if you look at the at the warehouses in the COMEX, they're
Mm-hmm.
draining very fast. The
Oh,
hedge funds are starting to notice, and the London bullion market is
yeah.
also being drained as well. So
Okay.
those two pricing
Right
mechanisms
on.
are going to run out of product
Yeah.
probably by January
Oh,
if it keeps up. So
okay.
supply and demand, if you're out of supply, what happens to the price? So
That's true.
there you go.
That's
So
true.
buy your silver now while you can.
It's yeah, yeah. You can definitely do that if you can afford it. So most of us are just trying to buy all of our Powerball tickets for the $2 billion lottery and stuff. We won $300 on that, by the way. We had three
Nice.
numbers matching and the Powerball, and I was like, damn, if we'd had four numbers, we'd have had $150,000. But yeah, so yeah, for a couple $1 billion, even if I took the lump sum, I could probably live on that. I think probably do all right. So yeah. Hey Beta Wolf, welcome to our stream. Super Lolly, thank you. Oh, Super Lolly, it's Monday morning for Super Lolly. He lives over in the Asia Pacific region, so he's getting to enjoy us on a delightful Monday morning. Yeah, appreciate both of you for coming and all of our other viewers. If say hello. Beta Wolf just put the cats away. Jojo groomed my husky Coda. Who's Jojo? Is Jojo a cat or just, I don't know. Um, anyway, there's a lot going on. The stream is different when we're doing the thing and doing the stream here. Yeah. Delight shouldn't be in the same set. You're absolutely right, Super Lolly. I've stopped telling people good morning or happy Monday or their BS like that at work because I'm like, nobody wants to be here on a Monday. So, so we have some stuff. We the last few weeks on the stream at least. So Mr. Betcher and Miss Berlin are caught up. We did some interviews with a lady named Esther who was working on Seattle Community Networks, which is a cellular network that is being built out here in Seattle. And there's other instances in other cities, but it's creating a cellular network for underserved and underprivileged people who don't have access to technology. And so you can take a phone and a SIM card and have cellular access. So that was kind of cool. And we had one of our Discordians by the name of Operator come on doing a talk on Jamboree, which is a Android testing framework that works for him but does not work for me. And I am still trying to figure out why that is. But yeah, good stuff. So yeah. So let me see. I'm going to post up the first link. So Miss Berlin, I don't know if this will be helpful for you, but Windows has now released Windows 11 VMs for free.
I don't know if it will be or not. I don't know if that goes into consideration of the costs that we pay AWS for.
Oh, do you get free VMs for that?
I mean, they're not free. You have to pay AWS.
Right.
But I don't know how any of that pricing works. I just, create them when I need them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You download it and then test on it, right?
Yeah.
Well,
That's all I do.
Yeah, it's a nice sandbox, if you will, for being able to test malware or things like that on Windows 11 or
Yeah, I mean, all the stuff I think in our lab is evaluation version anyways, so
right.
I don't know that we've ever licensed Windows for the lab.
How come? What's the reason you don't use the free stuff? I know several big name technology testing and education firms that use modern.ie in their $8,000 classes. Download a free Windows VM for the $8,000 class. I could imagine having free Windows development environments would also work very well for you.
All of our lab is in AWS though.
Oh.
And I don't imagine that just because they're offering something free that AWS is going to cheapen the cost of their VMs.
Oh. So you're just standing up like an EC2 instance that just happens to be a Windows image?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'd imagine being online, if you're for your home lab, I mean, these would be a great thing. Or, if you're going to be taking your GCIH or what have you, they're going to be pimping out this website fairly quickly. But yeah, it comes with Windows 11 Enterprise Evaluation, Visual Studio 2022, and Windows Subsystem for Linux already with Ubuntu installed. So you don't have to do all that other stuff to try to make it happen. So, but I saw that last night on Twitter/Mastodon, which I want to talk a little bit about later, but I don't want to bore people who've already been on our stream at all. So, but yeah, it's just another tool you can use if you're wanting to test malware. I guess on a Windows 10 box, you don't have you've got about 2 years worth of updates if you go to modern.ie, but it's another option for folks. So let's see. So I did buy threatbut.xyz.
Did you not buy the .xxx that I asked you about?
No, it was like $149.
I know.
I was like, oh my God.
So expensive.
I know, right? It's like they expect you to print money once you have an XXX domain or something,
I think that when that was created, they were just hoping that everyone that didn't want domain squatting on a triple X
that's true.
Would pony up money.
Yeah. So Beta Wolf, Docker failed their mission of solving it works for me, but not for you. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a fair point. Yeah, I bought ThreatButt. I actually bought another couple of domains. For those of you who don't know what ThreatButt is, it's a parody site because, as you can see, your pew pew map is going on here. Sorry, y'all aren't. I'm not sharing the screen for y'all, so apologies for that. There we go. Okay, so you have your good old classic ThreatButt website where you've got people popping things back and forth, and sometimes you hear a little boop boop in your thing. But this was to make fun of, I forget which company. What was the name of that company? But they had a pew pew map, and that's what this was. So there it is. Oh my god. Okay. But yeah. So
Weren't there several companies that did that?
There was a really well-known one that this was what this
They
was.
went out of business.
They did go out of business. Okay.
Really?
That makes sense.
Who was
that
it?
makes sense.
Norse.
That's it. That is it. Norse.
Are they out of business?
Sec. Or they got bought. Here we go.
Maybe it was because of the pew pew map that they got bought.
No, maybe they realized that they were a joke and they didn't. No, it looks like they're still around.
I'll click on cybersecurity map. Is it still a thing?
Norse Corp.
Oh, this is not it. This is definitely not it.
Oh no,
okay.
Go back.
I can't.
Oh.
If you click on this website, it goes to norsecorp.com, and it's not
the cybersecurity map up top.
Oh. Oh no, this is a different one. Oh, this has like little radiological type signs on it and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, like Ms. Berlin said, the Norse ThreatButt one it was supposed to. I guess they were trying to show you where all the attacks were coming from, and like they were monitoring the whole internets to understand these things. And you see how they have different things down here at the bottom. Uses an attack for which we don't know anything about yet. Unexpected litigation from this IP address.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I picked that up because the idea was I was going to create my own Mastodon instance on the stream in the next couple of weeks. Because Mastodon's supposed to be free and open source and what have you. And so yeah, I was. Yeah, I don't know why we do what we do. We as a community are busted, I think, in more ways than one. Of course, I'm talking about the whole Mastodon Twitter thing. We're, the small few that says that Twitter's dead, there's a vast majority that don't give a shit. And,
I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't either. And I think this is a great example of designing something that you think is going to be better, but the user experience and the user interface is so bad that it turns people off, or it will turn people off eventually because it is too difficult to use. I love my friend Taggart, MT Taggart. He's all in on Mastodon, and I love him for it because he's very passionate about it. But if I have to have a how-to on how to use a social media platform just to post a fucking message, and how am I going to get visibility for that message? They've lost.
Yeah.
It's got to be easy. Very easy.
Everyone wanted to run to Mastodon last time something on Facebook happened. Like, I don't remember what it was. But,
yeah.
And then that didn't happen.
Right. And I don't know. It's that whole trust thing too, because some people have raised some good questions on Mastodon and on Twitter about, okay, yeah, you're joining, Jerry Bell, friend of the show, defensive security co-host, has infosec.exchange, which is arguably one of the more popular or most popular infosec related instances out there. What if he goes away? What if he's, he got 500-600 new followers in the past week or so. Does he have moderation? what's the community like? What if you just go and find some rando instance somewhere trying to, oh yeah, here's one that's in my language. And it's like, okay, well, they're also ran by some nuthatches in your company or country or what have you. It's a lot of weird shit. And yeah, I get it. Twitter's a hot mess, according to a lot of people that have left Twitter. But they're still posting on there, even though they're like, "Oh, I'm over on Mastodon. I'm still posting over here." Well, shit, or get off the pot. You know what I mean?
Like I mean, I don't know.
I'm old.
And have you seen anything significantly change for your specific user experience on Twitter?
I haven't seen anything like that, but I use TweetDeck and make liberal use of tags to exclude.
Right.
So, like, just not to get political, but like Elon, Trump, DAL-E, all that AI ML shit, all that went away when people were like, "Oh, I made some shit on an AI website." Okay, whatever. Block,
Right.
I haven't seen anything yet, and yeah, he should not have laid off the 3,000 people that he did, roughly half his company. That's fucking shitty, Beta Wolf, it's not racist against AI, sir. I get the reasons why. We talked about it on the stream. You were there. But yeah, it's like he's going to find out how not easy it is to run a social media platform at some point in the future. So I'm not going anywhere on, I'll join Mastodon because God, I'm on Facebook as well. I'm following hashtags. I'm not following people because the other thing I have is we're taking the problems that we have with the InfoSec community over to Mastodon. So it's like, who are all the popular people on Twitter that are on Mastodon? Yeah, let's follow them again.
Yeah.
That's the same fucking problem that we had on Twitter, the echo chamber, and just by following certain hashtags.
Let's just all go to LinkedIn instead.
I'm on LinkedIn too, and I've actually gotten rid of a few groups over there because some of them have gotten real ugly. But yeah, well, and then some of them, it's like, you can tell that somebody's just asking to do their homework for them. So it's like, meh. So, but yeah, I don't see anything happening in the near term. Mastodon just hits more echo chamber for me because of the instances. Yeah, Beta, I had that same issue because it was like, if I want to join an instance, I have to have a separate account. So it's like, if I have 30 instances, I'm going to use 30 different accounts, unless somebody decides to use a hashtag.
How is that different than Slack and Discord?
Exactly. Meanwhile, over on Reddit, people are like, I'm good. I'm on Reddit too, but it's just, man, it's just, yeah. There's been a lot of shit. Did you get hit by the OpenSSL stuff? Mr. Betcher and I were talking about that before the show.
What do you mean?
The OpenSSL critical vulnerability that turned out to be just a buffer overflow or buffer overrun. Yeah.
I know we had some internal stuff, I think, that was vulnerable to it that got patched right away. But other than that, is it?
Yeah. I mean, the vast majority of it was definitely a lot of hype. There's
Did
the
it
advisory.
have a logo?
Some people
think it ended up with one, did it?
They were trying to give it one because I think they were waiting for the other shoe to drop and calling it like a mini Heartbleed thing. But I think that was because some folks did not realize that it had been downgraded yet. As I mentioned on the stream earlier, I was like, we were expecting a war room call. We were expecting 15 hours of patching and what have you. But because OpenSSL 3.0 was the only one that was affected, and OpenSSL 3.0 is only running on like Ubuntu 22 and the latest versions of Linux, like the most latest versions, it was like 5%.
When did they announce what versions were affected? Was that a few days earlier or was it the night before?
Yeah, I want to say it was part of the press release of, hey, we're going to be patching something and it's a critical and it's in OpenSSL 3. But then they talked to people. They actually solicited input and feedback like they should. And some of these folks were like, you can only overrun like 4 bits or 4 bytes of data, and that's not really easy enough to do anything. So they were able, and there was other specific requirements, like you needed to have a compromised CA and an email being sent that uses the compromised CA. So there was a
Yeah.
bunch
Yes.
of other bullshit involved. So that's why they downgraded it from a critical to a high. They just didn't tell anybody until like 2 hours into the window when they announced everything.
And it was what was it? An attack on the client, not the server? Something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
client. Yeah. So,
So
yeah, it was bad. Yeah. So here's 3786, which is the email address variable length buffer overflow. It was a buffer overrun triggered in X509 certificate verification. But yeah, it was only like 4 bits or something like that. And it wasn't enough to actually do anything with. I'm sure there's some enterprising person who's trying to figure out how to make it get
4
RCE.
bits.
4 bits, 4
That's
bytes, something like that. Let me see if
4
I can
bytes is
find.
better, but still, yeah, 4 bytes. I mean, maybe you could
Yeah.
crash something.
Right. Well, that's it. It was either RCE or denial of service, and without the extra bits to cause a pointer jump or what
RCE.
have you,
Yeah.
DDoS is about all you can do, which did not satisfy the requirements of of that.
No.
So I saw a blog post. They said that there was a blog post that we posted earlier in the week on our Discord. It was like the noise on Twitter was actually worse than the vulnerability itself. So yeah, here you go. Open SSL alarm fatigue. Sorry, let me post that into chat for y'all so you can take a look at that. Doink. There you go. But yeah, the alarm fatigue is definitely a real thing. I mean, how many of us were sitting here waiting for this thing to drop and stressing out over, well, am I going to get to go home tonight, or what the hell are we going to do? Yeah, so there was, let me see, where was I somewhat compelled to treat an OpenSSL. The first is apparently the OpenSSL team does not know what compiler flags are used to compile OpenSSL on popular targets. Like, I get it, at some level this makes sense. OpenSSL is using a billion T different environments, so all of them unique snowflakes. So yeah, it turns out the OpenSSL advisory was more disruptive than the vulnerability. And I think that the media caused a lot of that too, because they just saw OpenSSL and everybody went back to Heartbleed. And
Yep.
the other reason was there were stack protections that you are right, Beta Wolf. Discord does heavily influence echo chambers. I'm actually on more Discords than I've ever been, but most of them aren't InfoSec related, surprisingly. Other than our excellent one over on Brakesec, over at, there you go, discord.gg/Brakesec. You can, you get all kinds of stuff. We don't just talk about InfoSec over there, but it's sad that the media hyped it enough that it was starting to weird everybody out in that respect. So sadly, I don't think this will be the last time we see this.
I was gonna say, I think we've seen that before too.
Yeah.
Like we have
the problem is what happens if this was
Oh,
go ahead. Sorry.
So we specifically have a Slack channel at work just to decide on if something's worth covering or not.
Oh, you didn't even write a blog post
you
for
just
this,
decide whether or not to cover it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a breaking news thing. Like, hey, this thing has just come out and everybody's freaking out about it. Could you guys look at it and make sure it's worth our time?
Right. I'm imagining your PR and marketing teams are all in that channel asking you that question, which is why they want to know.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have, so let me ask you a question about the PR stuff. Do you have templates like waiting for, here's the latest OpenSSL vulnerability template or playbook or what have you?
Well, we have generic, this new phone came out templates.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it's formatted a specific way so that you can just kind of drag and drop and copy paste and do whatever.
No, we still have to write all of it. It's just like these are the sections we need to cover.
Oh, okay.
Like, what is it? Why is it bad? How can you remediate it? How can you detect it?
Right.
More.
Okay.
Links, whatever.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to disable preview here because I'm having some lag. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Mr. Betcher, so she has PR playbooks, or marketing playbooks. You have IR playbooks. Do you ever how, I'm trying to figure out how we can say that the reason that PR always responds with your security and privacy are important to us in a breach, and saying, well, they say that shit every time, they don't really mean it. That's part of their playbook. It's part of how they communicate to people because they want to reassure people. And I learned some of this during my recent class about. Yes, I'm
We
going
take
to
privacy
open up.
seriously. Security is
Right.
very important to our organization.
Right. You're our most important asset. Bullshit. But the problem is that's their playbook, right? That's when you say, "Hey, we need to look at indicator of compromise. These 5 things." That's what they say every time because they want to make sure that. Okay, yeah. So these were the 6 things that I will share this screen for everyone. So I took a screenshot of this. This is our 6 things that you need to know when you're learning how to communicate with folks. This was some of the classes that I'm taking for Harvard Business School online, is talking about how you get your messages across. And they have the 6 C's, and they're compassion, clarity, conciseness, connection, conviction, and courage. And when I was looking at this, I'm like, well, yes, you're going to hone your craft. You're going to create your playbook based on these 6 C's, if you will. You're going to try to, because you're not going to build your playbook in the middle of an incident response. You're not going to build your breach notification response in the middle of a breach response. You're going to have all of this tailored and honed and polished real nice for when it goes out. And the problem is, we care about your security and privacy. You're very important to us is in every marketing playbook. The IR playbooks probably all have, depending on the scenario, you have 1 or 2 things that might be different in those playbooks, but eventually, like when you go to notifications, it's all going to be the same notifications, or it's all going to be the same actions to legal, or it's all going to be the same isolation methods by which you do things. So the PR and marketing playbooks probably follow something like this, where you're trying to help people understand why there's a problem. We sympathize with you. We want to show compassion. This is what is it? No customer data has been stolen or has been taken at this time. That's we firmly believe that everything is fine and all good. So they show conviction. And when somebody's giving it to you, either in a press conference or whatever, they're trying to exude courage, trying to exude confidence in that. So I just found this interesting. I have a couple of other ones as well on dealing with this. Let's see if I have it here. Oh yeah, audience, tailoring your communication to fitting certain groups. Tone and style, how you will, how and when you'll communicate your messages. A lot of this I also was gaining, like, IR, how you communicate your message. This is how you communicate with like people above and below and laterally to you. So I saw some incident response things in here, like, who are you speaking to, where are they located, what's their interests in this, those kinds of things. I saw some definite things in there. So, but yeah, I'm finding this manager class that I'm taking draws a lot of parallels with information security and incident response, and helping me understand the PR portions of these systems. So, yeah.
So I've not been a manager for super long, right? So I'm doing
Right.
half IC work, half leadership stuff, right?
Right.
And I have found that you can draw a lot of comparisons from being a parent as well.
What, wiping noses and smacking butts? I don't know
Oh,
what.
just like with having an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old at home.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
some of the lessons that you have to teach go both ways. Like they go as far as life lessons go, and you can kind of almost draw really similar lines to like business communication and
Right.
managing your time and processes and stuff like that. And it's every time I find a comparison like that, I think it's funny.
That's pretty cool.
I haven't
Okay.
thought about that.
Yeah, so I thought about like I wonder if there's a book out there that talks about the parallels and like
The manager parent
yeah, right.
or
Or
the
like
parent
managing
manager.
your or like managing and leading your children. Like, right? Like I thought it was pretty
Well,
interesting.
for those stay-at-home parents that go back into the workforce, I mean, your constant project management, you have to, do triage and
Right?
prioritize and, you know, little
Scheduling
Johnny's
and
and yeah, I just changed 3 diapers at once and one of them exploded in the car and it's like now I've got to clean out the car and how am I going to find time to do that and time management and everything. It's amazing. You're absolutely correct. Hey, you know what? There's your next book.
right?
There's your next
I
book.
mean, yeah, I mean, you have to, there's a lot of responsibility. I mean, if you're responsible for the team and
Right.
the team can be your family, you're
Yep.
responsible there. I mean, if you don't,
Right.
like, I have to have an alarm go off on my phone every day because I will forget to pick somebody up,
Right.
right? It's
Oh,
so easy for me to focus on work and that's all I'm thinking about.
Yes.
And if my phone doesn't tell me to go pick up a kid at a certain time, they're gonna be like calling me,
it's not going to happen.
30 minutes later, where are
Yeah.
you?
It's like everything has to be on my calendar, personal,
Mhm.
professional, whatever, or it's not getting done. Like I
And you have
need
to be
those calendar
reliable.
reminders. Too much stuff.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, so Miss Berlin, you say you haven't been a manager for very long, and that's nothing wrong with that. I haven't been a manager for very long at all either, and mostly it's IC work. But I've been managing teams. I've been trying to get people to do shit when I don't have any power, authority, or what have you to get them to do anything. What kind of manager are you? And I mean that in like technique. I don't mean like what kind of manager are you? But
The
I
I mean,
worst.
feel well, I feel lucky because I'm also on the team doing the work that my team is doing.
okay,
And I have a really
okay,
good team. So I don't have to do a lot of management stuff.
right,
I it's very collaborative. So, like,
okay,
if we're deciding on if this one thing should be done or the priority of these things, like,
So you play more of a team lead role, really. You got to do all that HR stuff,
right.
but it's like,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's very, very collaborative. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's nice having a good team that I don't have to handhold with anything. I'm sure
right,
it'll change as it gets bigger because there's only 4 of us. Um,
right,
But yeah, I mean, I consider myself pretty lucky because everybody keeps track of their own work. We all prioritize and we all get shit done. Um,
nice,
like there's stuff that comes up that of course I'm like the deciding factor on, but the fact that it's going to get done might be my decision, but how everything gets done is like the group decision.
right, right. So I think the reason I was asking that question is, are you a manager that you would like to work for? And Mr. Betcher,
So,
same question. If piece of everybody in chat, for me, for management, I've always been the kind of person that I have a team, I have people depending on me. My job as the manager is to make sure that there are no blockers for them to get their work done.
right.
When I was
Yep.
an engagement manager at Leviathan, I was very much on my team side of like, hey, dev team, you need, we're going to be pen testing you in a week. You need to get your shit done. And of course, they're like, oh, yeah, whatever. Dur, dur, dur. And then I come and work over at this place that I'm working at now. And, you know, dev teams are probably, I'm on the other side now. The engagement manager's talking to us. And I came from that side. So I'm like, okay, yeah, and I've worked from that side with the company I'm at now. So sorry not to be vague,
Now
but I
you're
don't
the
want to
guy
tell
going,
people where I
"Dur,
work.
dur, dur, dur," whatever.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, I am not. No, I am not.
Right.
Anyway, so my thing is, and my friend Fernando, he'll be getting an engagement or something ready, and I will look at the dev team and I'm like, look, I've been Fernando, you're going to get your shit done and get it ready for him to do the test. And if he's not, you're out of the queue and you'll get to start over. And in 4 months, you'll be ready. And, I've been told that I'm not a team player because, I'm not helping the dev teams get ready for the engagement. And I'm like, I would argue, having been on that side with the pen testers, you're wasting my time, effort, and money, and your money not getting the test done on time because I have sat waiting for a dev team to get ready for 2 weeks on a 2-week engagement, and then we have 6 hours to test. So when I get to the company where I have to complain to the dev teams that shit ain't ready, I know that I'm wasting time, effort, and money if they're not ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I've raised that question to them. I'm like, look, we paid X number of dollars for pen test, and the pen test company's getting free cash. And I know how y'all love the free cash being given to third parties for not doing work, which means they need to get their shit ready. And so they've come around to my way of thinking, but I've always been one of those people that's like, I want to make sure my people don't have any blockers or my team doesn't have any blockers, or, hey, we should probably go talk to that team. You know what? I'm going to go talk to that team and facilitate and get y'all talking in love connection kind of thing.
Right.
I've always been felt like I needed to be that kind of manager instead of somebody who's like, well, you probably should just go talk to those people, just, make that happen. I know at some point that's not going to be good for me, but I always try to facilitate and network and reach out and figure out points of contact for things to be able to connect teams together, and it's just been one of those things. So
I think that's why I like this size of company that I'm in, being like in a startup, because you can affect and impact change so much.
Right.
And like if you see something that's broken, or teams that aren't talking to each other, or something that's not working, something that is working that you want to repeat, you can just do it.
Right.
And like you can be a person of action without any authority. Because like so many people have authority to do whatever makes the company better.
Right. Well, so you can make those changes, but if you don't have a process in place when you're at 75 and now you're 500 and you still don't have those same processes in place, that makes it a lot painful, a lot more painful.
Yeah. Like
so,
I just spent
it's great when you got 75, but not at 500.
Yeah, I just spent a week going through and renaming Slack channels and archiving Slack channels because we had no naming convention.
Okay.
They're just everywhere. Like Slack channels, like we had 200 Slack channels for a company of 50 people. And like, we don't need that. That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like that was just public channels. That doesn't even count private channels. So I'm just like, you know what? This is driving me crazy, and people aren't talking to each other in the right channels. So I'm just gonna do this.
Right.
And I did, and like, not really many complaints so far.
Yeah, and moderation. I don't want to go back to the Mastodon thing, but moderation is important. If you're not, you don't have a naming scheme, or you're not, maintaining those things, or hey, somebody hasn't logged in or looked at this or posted anything in this channel for a year, get rid of it.
Yeah,
6 months, get rid of it. Rename it or collapse it into something else. I did that on our Brakesec Slack. It was like we had 10, 20, 25 channels, and it's like nobody's posted in this in like 3 months. All right, well, we'll collapse this into something else. And I've tried to do that with the Discord as well. It's like, hey, nobody's using this channel, so we delete it. Moderation and community building is hard. So Mr. Betcher, sorry, I didn't mean to derail, of course, but what kind of manager are you? I'm just kidding.
I don't even know.
Wow, that's insightful. Actually, that's not bad. I don't know what kind of manager I am.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you have a team? Are you an IC, individual contributor, or you got a manager team?
Manager, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I get in the weeds sometimes just because we're a small team and it has to be done, right?
Right.
So at some point, if the company does well, we'll grow. And so I'll have more manager duties than I do technical duties. But right now, we need all the technical skills that we can. Otherwise, yeah, we'll get way behind. So I'm more of a technical manager now. Like Amanda, just a uh, more of a team lead type thing. So yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
learn that
Um,
respect just because we're small.
yeah. Yeah. So here's a question. So all of you work, Miss Berlin works at a startup with a product. Mr. Betcher, you work at a startup with a product. I work at a big ass company with a bunch of products that I'm working on. Do you believe, let me see, how do I say this? I don't want to say, do you believe in your product? Because I don't want you to say yes or no, because that would get you fired. I have not worked at a company where I had a product that I hadn't believed in ever,
Oh, I have.
ever. Okay. It's only been in the last 3 months where I've been put on this major program inside of where I work that's going to change the enterprise, the entire enterprise and business lines and everything. Huge project, huge program. I believe in the product, and it's really weird. I don't hate going to work anymore. It's not like, fuck, it's Monday. It's like, hey, it's Monday. I'm gonna go and do that shit. It's weird. And I've never, and both of you know where I've worked. Mr. Betcher, of course, knows where I've worked. I did not have that passion. I did not have that drive. I did not have that. I didn't feel like I was making a difference. And I don't know if it was because I was in security and I was getting browbeat all the time, or made to feel like security, nobody gave a shit about them. So maybe that was it. But I'm doing something that isn't slap such with a fish. Sorry, but it's weird when you actually have a product or program that you believe in. And I get it now with some of the PR and the weasels and the biz dev folks where like they really believe in this product. Mine's a process and it's a program that's going to change how we do things at this org and all the business lines for decades to come. And we're taking out old process and putting new in, which was something I've always been a real fan of, change management and making that happen. But it's really weird to actually have a company or do something where you're like, I believe in this product, this thing, and I want to go to work and make it better. So maybe, and the thing is, it's not security. Maybe that's the problem. It's not a security thing. It's adjacent. It's the process for security, but it's not security. And it's a UI and there's a product and we're doing surveys and I'm bitching at the people making the survey because I'm like, you don't make surveys right. You can't say, do you have a dev, test, and gamma environment? Because those are 3 different questions. Because if they're all yes or no, I'm an asshole because I'm kind of the TPM for it, but I'm also going to be piloting people through it. So I get to hear the anguish from the teams, but it's like I'm making sure I'm being the asshole customer beforehand. So it's fun. Is that a thing? Can you have fun at work?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've loved the last 5 years, or 4 years, 3 years. I don't know. However long I've been at Blue Mirror.
They're not watching, Miss Berlin. They're not watching.
Seriously,
You can tell
it's the coolest. Like it's not like it's not the best product ever, right? We're still a startup and still like there's still there's still going to be bugs. You can't have a perfect program out of the gate, right?
Right.
Takes money, takes time, takes effort.
But the potential.
Right.
But the potential
It's an iterative thing, right?
Done so far is amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in a company that
Right.
has the potential to change the industry that we're in. And I'm
Yeah.
really excited about what the future holds. Now, we got to survive through this downturn, but if we come out the other end smiling like a daisy, then hey, the sky's the limit, I think.
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm
Mr. Betcher, question. Right. So question on that. Did you come to the company with that already in place? Like, hey, I believe in this product. I'm going to help you make it the best. Or is like, hey, they pay the bills and they pay more than what I was at currently. So, I mean, did you believe in the product when you first got in there or did it take time?
Not when I first got in. It took some time. I believed the guy that hired me said, hey, this is a great company. They got a lot of potential. So I trusted him.
Hmm.
But it wasn't until maybe a month or two ago, and I've been there a year. So it wasn't until a month or
Hmm.
two ago that I really got
Excited.
that, yeah, I really got excited about what I saw finally,
Right.
right?
Okay.
It just
Okay.
it was something that they developed over time, and it just got better and better. And then I was like, okay, right
Right.
here's the cutoff
Right.
between, yeah, we've got a lot of potential, to, oh shit, we got, like, this is a great idea.
Nice.
This is like
Okay.
nobody's done this before, right? So yeah,
Right.
and that's what
Okay.
gets you up and excited about what you're doing. You're contributing to the success of the company now.
Right.
So if it works out, wow, it's going to be great. So yeah, there's a lot of companies like that where you've got to
Right.
do your part, and um, you could be the straw that breaks the company's back, right? If you're not on top of your
Right.
game.
Mhm.
Yep.
Just like phishing, right? If your company gets attacked with a phishing email and all this data gets stolen and your reputation goes, and they have to spend a bunch of money on insurance the following 5 years that they wouldn't have had to, and it all goes downhill because you didn't create a process to handle that real quickly, right? So
Right.
yeah, you could be the one who maybe not even know that you're the one who brought success or brought failure to the company. So you need to bring
Right.
your A game every day.
Right. Okay. Ms. Berlin, how about you? Did when you first started working at where you worked, was there a belief in the product? How long did
Well,
I'm
we
not
didn't have a
saying that it's
product.
a shitty product. Okay, you didn't have a product.
We didn't have
Okay.
a product at first. I was there when it started, and I thought they were crazy.
Right.
I didn't think it
In
was
what
going to be a
way?
good product. Well, because I came from implementing Splunk,
Okay.
and I told them how long it takes to implement a SIM and how long it takes to tune a SIM,
Yeah.
and I wrote out this entire process of how all of this stuff works. And I'm like, yeah, it takes at minimum 6 months. And they're
Right.
like, no, 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 like we need this less than a week. Like, you're insane. Like that is never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Never. And we did it. Like you can implement it in like hours.
Okay. Well,
Really
I
good.
mean, we've had some of your folks on the show. We haven't really talked, I think, to people about that before, but that's kind of cool.
I thought they were
Huh.
insane. Like this is never gonna happen. Like you might be able to get it to a month. Maybe. Maybe get it to a month.
Right.
Nope.
Right. Huh. So yeah. By the way, they don't sponsor the show currently. It would be nice
No,
if they came
no.
back and
Yeah.
spread a little cash around, but it's fine. Maybe I can get
After
Trusted
this
Sec in
next
their 36 million. Yeah.
No, we're just hitting B round. I don't think we're gonna get 36 for a B round.
Well, Trusted Sec got 36 million for something. I don't know, but
It was
yeah, Dave
binary
and them.
defense.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So it's the defense part, not Trusted Sec. So,
Yep.
or whatever. Yeah. Congratulations to them. Dave obviously has a good team there and was able to, as long as they don't put out Trusted Sec coin, if they got it from Andreessen Horowitz or whatever, so they're putting out cryptocurrency or something, I guess that's fine. But the bad thing that I'm feeling about the thing that makes me melancholy or whatever they call that thing is it's not technically security, which bothers me because I'm again moving further and further away from security, but I'm finding that I don't care so much anymore. It used to be like I wanted to be in the trenches doing security stuff, and I find myself as I get more disenchanted with how InfoSec is, especially its communities in some cases. I don't want to be in InfoSec anymore. Process improvement is good across any org and any place. And, the fact that this is process improvement in a security bent is right up my alley. So, for those of you listening or watching and, seeing the slight out of sync audio video sync on our stream, which I am currently annoyed by. So you don't worry about that. If you can get opportunities in your org that are not doing security things, go do those things, because if anything, it will allow you to network with different teams, get a different kind of trust and reputation than just, oh, it's the security guy or security person. And if there are areas like process improvement or something, go do those things, or go do something else that isn't security in your organization. If there's a program coming up and it's like, hey, we're going to be driving new marketing or something like that, and it, for this tool or whatever, if there's ways that you can get yourself involved in things other than security at your org, I would suggest doing so. In from a geezer like myself, because as you can see, I was checking out my fucking gray patch over here. Don't even get me started. Okay, yeah, you're like 30. Okay, so whatever. If I had my beard growing in, I'd be like all old manny and shit. But it'll make you more well-rounded. I think my problem is I've been doing security so long, it's almost an institutionalized thing for me. I don't know how to do anything else. So trying to break out of that mold is something you should definitely try to not get into in the first place. So, but I'm working on that. So building my empire, if you will, at this place, if I can get the next promotion cycle. So, which will also be another first. I've never actually been promoted inside a company before in 25 years. So
Really?
Ooh.
yeah,
That's surprising.
never. Yeah. I think it's probably my fault. If you don't stay for more than 3 years, that tends to cause that issue.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your average?
Yeah,
2.5?
I think I stayed at Leviathan for 3.5 years. I stayed at CrowdStrike for 3.5 years as well. I didn't get all 10,000 shares of stock they had, but that was in the pre-IPO days. I would have been a billionaire if I had stayed around when they hit 200, but that's why we have our house in San Diego now. So, but yeah, about 3.5 years, I start climbing the walls, and I'm at just a little less than 2 right now. And I don't know if it's a military thing or what, because usually around 3.5 years at a command, and then you move along. But that was it. That was the point where I think about 3.5 years, it was like, I don't have anything else to do. I'm completely bored. When I was at CrowdStrike, I started podcast. When I was at IBM, I started podcast. Or Xerox, I started podcast. Moved on to Leviathan, was still doing the podcast, but it was all security. I actually liked the last 6 months I had at Leviathan because I was doing process improvement for a startup. They weren't ready for process improvement. But it is what it is. So I don't know. I just think if you're trying to be more well-rounded, or you want to pop shells all day, great. But at some point that's going to get old. And you need to find ways to make yourself more well-rounded. Work with other teams, or go talk to a developer, load up an IDE or something. I don't know. So.
I do love
start companies.
Just go start.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I might actually even have goals for my next review. So that's weird. I know. I'm taking this Harvard Business School thing because I wanted to get an MBA from like WGU or something like that, but I don't have another $40, $50, $60,000 in my bank account for an MBA. So my wife showed me these Harvard Business School online things where it's like you a week a chapter, and there's 7 weeks, and if you do 3 classes in 18 months, they give you a certificate of management or whatever. I don't know if that's an actual legit thing, but it's probably more legit now than my CISP, and it come from Harvard. So, yeah, don't get me started on the ISC squared stuff. I'm fucking hot as shit on that stuff. So, but yeah. Well, you know what? We've talked an hour, folks, and I don't know if people were you entertained, you streamers? Hate Ring Zed holding his hands. They are all sleeping, except Super Lolly. Super Lolly's at work, probably.
I did take a nap before this.
Oh, thanks, Ring Zed. Wow. I wish I could take naps.
I had a long day.
I wish I could take naps.
I was hungover a little bit. And then we cleaned gutters on the house and fixed a tub and tried to install a Ring doorbell and drove and
You
got a
had a
kit.
problem with the Ring doorbell?
I didn't. Are all of them wired?
Not all
Like
of
the
them.
okay.
They have a
So, like,
battery powered one. They have a solar powered one.
okay, this one is wired, right?
Hardwired. Okay.
Yeah, hardwired. I can't get. I was gonna try and go down to the crawl space and then over and up this wall, right? Because
Mhm.
like my door's right outside this door, my front door, right? So I just needed to go down, over, and up.
Yeah.
Well, you can't go down because there's a footer
Okay.
and like no way to get through the wall.
Okay.
So like somehow I'm gonna have to drill a hole and just go like right here and then somehow get the cable from there to this side of the room, like under the carpet or something. I don't know.
All right.
So like the whole thing's just a giant pain in
What?
the ass.
Why do you need a doorbell on your outside office door? Is this for the kids?
No, like my actual real front door is outside this door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was imagining you locking that door and then your kids come up and ring the bell and you're sitting here at your computer and you're like, what is it? No, go away. You know, that kind of thing or something.
like
You know,
that
where you
idea.
get,
I like it. And I don't know if anybody knows what the Bird Buddy is.
The what?
Bird Buddy is a
No.
Kickstarter. It's a smart bird feeder.
Okay.
That like shows you the type of bird it is and it can identify it based on
The
picture
sounds.
and sound, and it'll tell you when to refill the bird feeder, and it's solar powered.
Is it squirrel resistant? Is it squirrel resistant?
So like the little, I don't have it
Because I got asshole squirrels here at my house, so they like to climb up in the bird feeder and just you see them and they're just digging it. Oh,
like all plastic. And
Wow.
the little
okay.
the thing
What's
I'm
that?
updating right now, but you like
Oh, okay.
put it right there.
Uh-huh.
And that's
Where's the sides? It looks like it's supposed to hold bird seed in 3 dimensions.
Down here.
That's it?
Yeah.
Well, it's not as advertised. The picture looks like the bird seed goes up like 2 or 3 inches.
Oh, the bird feed will go all the way up top. It'll go all the way up to here because you fill it in back here.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I bought this a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And it finally shipped. They had a lot of supply chain issues. But I have to tell you, their updates on like what they were doing for their over-the-air firmware updates and all of the information that they gave in their updates was really cool. Like some of the most in-depth backer updates I've ever gotten.
Wow.
So are they telling you like it's got secure boot and all this shit in there? Like
yeah,
all the
like they were really going in depth. Of like,
that's cool.
Yeah.
I almost want to buy one and then have them on the show. Talking about IoT security.
They sounded like really cool developers.
Like Ring Z said, looking forward to getting DDoSed by your bird feeder.
Right.
Well,
I got my mom one and I got me one.
Okay.
It'd be very hard for this one because they sort of know what they're doing.
Yeah. I was really impressed.
Easy there.
Right away.
Easy there. Sort of
right away, it didn't even give you an option. It's just updating the firmware with I mean, it's just like didn't even give you a choice. Like
it's
you can't even
part of the provisioning process, I'd imagine.
Yep.
Yeah. It can recognize birds by, the north and south end of the bird, lift its tail. 2 colors.
And like I live in a huge birding area because of where I'm at on the Great Lakes. Yeah, so like I was really interested to have something like this.
Suet ball holder. Where's the thing that says it's anti-squirrel? I mean,
it'd be cool if it also fed hummingbirds as well.
Right?
I could definitely see a hummingbird feeder for this.
First question, is it squirrel proof?
Is it squirrel proof?
So the thing is, like it comes with this this. You can either hang it, right? You can hang it, or you
Oh,
can
Right.
put it on a pipe. But it doesn't
Right.
fit any pipe.
does it have a speaker?
Right.
No.
The reason I
No, it's just a
ask
can't.
is because if it does detect a
You
squirrel,
can yell at the
it'll
squirrel.
emit some like supersonic, and the squirrel would be like, "What?" and
Oh, that's
just like
great.
book
Right.
it. In fact, it would leave the
What?
neighborhood. It would be so scared.
Right. What I love is the first line. It says, "We've come to the conclusion any attempt to prevent squirrels from visiting would be a futile task." They don't. No, what that really means is we can't spend the development cycles to make a squirrel-proof feeder. Some
Well,
version like 2 is going to happen.
have you ever seen the Mark Rober squirrel thing?
Mark Rover
No, but I've
squirrel
seen
thing.
a bear like try to get to a
Right.
feeder
Right.
crawling on a wire.
Look up Mark Rober squirrel something.
Squirrel maze, backyard squirrel maze.
Yes. Well, that's the second one. He had a
Goddamn
first
squirrels.
one too. So he's a former
Okay.
NASA scientist and does these amazing like YouTube videos. He's really good.
Okay.
That's the second
Well,
one.
right.
He like set up this entire squirrel
Wow.
maze in his backyard.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
His neighbors must hate him with all those squirrels in the backyard.
Right.
Jesus, look at all the tubing.
Amazing.
Oh shit. Asshole squirrels. Oh my
Amazing.
God. Okay, now I gotta watch this. All right, here I'm gonna
Yeah,
post
you have
this
to
into
watch,
the
you have to
stream
watch
chat.
both of
Just
them.
okay. So that's at least the channel that will get you there. Porch Pirates hate him too. Why do Porch Pirates
Yeah.
hate him?
There's
Why did?
he does a payback thing with people stealing his packages in his neighborhood.
Oh, like put dog shit in there or something?
Oh no, he did GPS tracking on these phones that were attached to this spinner thing that spun like the finest glitter that you can buy. And
Oh,
it
I
was
have heard of this guy. Yeah.
automatically streaming like the content. Yeah, it's that guy. His videos are great.
Okay. All right. I'll have to. Wow, that's pretty funny. Okay. Yeah. Well, I have some stuff to watch before my classes start again on Tuesday. Fucking squirrels. Between that and the bunnies. Actually, what gets me out here in the Pacific Northwest is we have a planned community, and the deer know that there's no guns, so they're not going to get shot. So I can get within about 5 to 10 foot of a deer.
You
I've
just
actually
slit
run
his throat.
into deer.
Just slit
I
his
could
throat.
probably, if I was an asshole with a machete, I could do that. Yeah, I could probably kill a deer. They are not afraid of
Venison
us
is
at all.
delicious.
Yeah, and it's creepy because it's dark at night, so I go out with my headlamp and I'll shine it across like at about 15 foot in front of me is a pair of glowing eyeballs, and I shit myself because I think it's a bear or something. And they're just looking at you. They're like, and I'm
Here.
like,
Speaking
asshole
of
deer.
bears, check out that video that I posted.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is that?
Is this
the-
child safe, bruh? Oh my
Probably.
God.
Oh,
my God. Oh my
amazing.
God damn. Dude wants him some sunflower seeds. Just get the fuck out of
how
the
That's
much
way.
right.
you know how much that has to hurt, and
Do you know how well constructed that clothesline is?
right?
Yeah.
How strong
'Cause
that
that's not
Tell you what.
that's not a baby bear. Yeah.
No.
Oh my God.
Oop, oop. And the abs on that bear.
No. Yeah, right. He doesn't neglect ab day. I'll tell you that. He does not neglect ab day. Shit. Oh man, I'm so glad y'all came. We need to do this more often. So
I know.
it gets lonely
So,
talking to myself, and I mean the people who are chatting with me in the windows on Tuesdays and Fridays is great, but it's like back and forth. It's just great. So, but I'm glad everything seems to be settling down with you, Ms. Berlin. Sorry about your nuptials that didn't happen. Hope that doesn't put any stress on your.
I still have him around. He's out there.
Okay, good. He hasn't run yet.
Maybe I'll have him on the podcast sometime. I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to get him a sales job in security.
Oh, ew.
Well, he sales now, just not in security.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Just tell him about Gartner and Forrester, and that's all he needs to know, really. So,
No. Ugh.
No, come on. He's an analyst. Anyway.
Oof.
All right. Well, Mr. Betcher, I'd ask where people could find you if they wanted to talk more about management styles and stuff, but you're not on Twitter very much. So how would people get a hold of
Nah.
Mastodon?
Not
you?
yet.
Too soon.
Hang on, I'm putting in a feature update for that bird feeder speaker.
Oh no. Pull request. Yeah. Great. Oh my God. How would people get a hold of you? Do you have an email that's safe
You're in
or?
security, you should be able to find me. Little
When we show up at your
recon there,
house.
huh? Yeah. So there's that.
Uh,
This is not bourbon, by the way.
okay. Isn't it?
It's not.
All right. Well, you're kind of unplugged from the internet, I think, for now. So you know, we'll
Weren't you going to talk
when you
about
when you
red
get back
shot
on
or something like that?
Red Shot. Oh, yeah, that was a piece of software that we
Yeah.
have that I
So
found for malware analysis. Go ahead.
yeah, I used to use that until I said, hey, it's got some flaws, but I can't remember what those flaws were. It just didn't do everything I wanted it to. And so I just
Right.
built that feature into LogMD. So LogMD does that
Oh, okay.
as well. It'll
Okay.
do
Um,
a dump of the registry and then a diff of the registry before and after, like attacks,
right.
things like that.
Right. Right. I was actually part of this is the malware analysis classes that we're doing with Tanisha, Cybersec Diva on Twitter. She was talking about doing malware analysis, static analysis, some of the tools you use, like Cutter. I think Cutter was the name of one of them, where it would like do a strings command and you could actually compare the strings to figure out where things were. And there were some other items. You can go check her. I think I tweeted it out. If you go follow Cybersec Diva on Twitter, we'll be doing episode 3 and 4 later on, where we'll actually be analyzing, you know, like actual malware at some point. But she'd said, you know, some of the tools that she had. I was looking around for them, and I found Lenny Zeltzer's malware analysis cheat sheets that I think are pretty much the Bible for everybody, including had Red Shot on it and a couple of other tools. But yeah, it was just an interesting little piece of tooling. Once we go through the class with Tanisha, I may actually take some of what I've learned during my discussions with her, and I'll maybe analyze some malware online during one of the streams. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, so if you need to get a hold of Mr. Betcher, contact me and I'll let him know. So there you go. We'll go that route since you're not on Twitter. And if somebody is actually tweeting you, you know, you probably won't see it anyway. But yeah, just email bds.podcast@gmail.com and I'll forward it on to Mr. Betcher if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you just want to say hey. So there you go.
I
Ms. Berlin, how would
responded to
go ahead?
somebody's DM and on Twitter, and they said, "Oh my God, I DM'd you a year ago, and you're just now getting to it." So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's okay. You know, I'm sure there's DMs that I haven't replied to yet, sadly, and not on purpose, but yeah. Miss Berlin, you know, studious Miss Berlin, how would people find you if they were online? Are you on the Mastodons?
Long time ago I
Tootsville.
got on there and I will not go back. So
Oh,
I don't need
okay.
more individual challenge chat now. Slack, Discord, or Twitter.
That's
At
true.
Info
Okay.
Sister. Yeah.
Info Sister. Yeah. I
Also,
think you're on our Slack, but not on our
I don't
Discord.
think I'm on your Discord yet. No, because I don't use Discord
Oh,
as much. I need to get
that's
back
okay.
to that. I did find
Everybody's
out
got a
that
Discord these days.
as I was sitting here that Bird Buddy's actually based out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. So I know a
That's
handful of
not far
people.
away.
It's not. No, I know a handful of people in the MySec like security community that are in Kalamazoo.
Okay.
So
Wow.
maybe we could get them on. That'd be kind of cool.
Well, we'd want to maybe have their stuff tested before we have them on to talk about that. I feel like if we put them on and find out that their device is a piece of shit, might not be. I don't know. We could ask him on, but you know.
My boss is getting his too, so I mean, he's pretty good at testing stuff. So maybe I'll wait until he tries to break it.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out on that. But yeah, so Info Sister on Twitter. info sister in our Slack channel, and we'll impress upon her the ability to get onto Discord. There's actually some really good Discords out there. There's a digital forensics one that has a lot of good information. Um, um, Different groups, law enforcement, people who are doing OSINT and steganography stuff all over the place. It's actually it's next level. It's like, should I be here? Because I know I've been invited, but I'm not exactly sure it's a good idea for me to know that these people are on here. That kind of stuff.
I just wish I had more time. I just don't.
Oh yeah.
Time.
Yeah. Well, you mother, almost fiance, that kind of thing. So, it's hard. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So yeah, at Info Sister pretty much everywhere. Hackers Health.
Yeah, we are doing feel good boxes again. So
I saw that on Mastodon, as a matter of fact. So
yeah, so if you know somebody that needs a little pick me up, my company is actually sponsoring, because it's really kind of difficult for one person to put together like 30-40 boxes of stuff. Right. So we had people that wanted to like do some volunteering and stuff. So I'm gonna do all the buying and take it up to Michigan and have a bunch of people help me put the boxes together.
Right. And that's what, hackershealth.org?
Mentalhealthhackers.org.
Mentalhealthhackers.org. That's right. Okay.
And then there, right at the top is the feel good boxes.
Okay, cool. I also saw Secret Security Santa is also happening. Ginger Hacks is doing
Ginger
those.
Hacks is running it for me because, again, time, and I just
right.
did not have it in me to do
You're
it this
learning.
year, so, yeah.
You're learning to delegate, which is something I still have trouble learning how to do.
Yep.
And there's trust and accountability there. You hold people to what they say they're going to do,
and he's helped me.
That's something that's hard.
Prior. So yeah, he helped me for 2 years already, so he knows kind of what's going on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Mental Health Hackers and Info Sister, and you can follow the podcast and our Twitch, twitch.tv/Brakesec. I'd like to thank everyone who's stayed here the whole time with us and hung out. And thank you to all of our subscribers, folks like Shecky and Super Lolly and Hammerhead and Kimisek. That's how far. Sorry, I'd go back further, but that's as far back as my my activity monitor goes. Thanks, Rings Ed. Appreciate the hangout, and breakingsecurity.com. Soon to hopefully have a Mastodon instance called threatbut.xyz, but we'll see if that happens. Maybe it'll be something we'll build out during our streams this next couple weeks. But thanks everyone for coming, and hope you have a great week. Be kind to one another. Stay safe. Go vote. Please go vote. And we'll talk to y'all soon.
Bye-bye.
See ya.